I mean, Ryan, that looks bad. Why is Travis Kelce not following you anymore? These are real things. These aren't just us bullying you and so on. We are not going to just keep accepting whatever narrative you and other high profile celebrities demand.
Disney has officially severed ties with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Two of Hollywood's most beloved stars are suddenly out at the House of Mouse, and the reason is as shocking as it is unexpected. Was this a surprising act of betrayal, or a decision Disney felt it had no choice but to make? Either way, the truth behind the move is bound to leave fans stunned.
Has a very lucrative deal through Fox, through everything, that he's in bed with them. They can't afford to cut him loose, but they can have a talk and tell him, Ryan, this is not good. But Ryan seems to be so stubborn and aggressively trying to prove the proof is out there. And I don't know what this man is thinking. But from what I've heard now from multiple, I heard this a little bit ago, and I heard it from some newer sources today, confirming that yes, Bob Iger himself and Disney have been trying to get Ryan Reynolds to drop this nonsense. Just like Taylor Swift, just like everybody else involved, nobody wants to be involved in this. And now they've put on a brave face. They have made it clear they're not going to play nice pool with Justin over these Deadpool requests of getting information from the film. But it's just as right. This is all absolutely valid. This is not frivolous. He is demanding that they hold on to these documents so that he can do his discovery to figure it out. It's not up for a judge to deem what's frivolous this early on in a case. That's what the case is for, Ryan. And so you don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away. And blah, blah, blah. You are so out of touch. It's wild. You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit, and Justin's proven fairly that a lot of what your wife is saying didn't seem to happen.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have long been considered Hollywood royalty. Reynolds with his razor-sharp wit and box office dominance, and Lively exuding elegance and grace at every appearance, have earned their status as the ultimate power couple. For years, Reynolds seemed like a perfect fit for Disney, particularly after the company acquired 20th Century Fox, bringing the lucrative Deadpool franchise under its umbrella. Although Deadpool didn't align with Disney's usual family-friendly image, it was undeniably a win. Reynolds poured in his trademark humor and creative energy, keeping fans constantly excited. But behind the polished public image, trouble was brewing. According to insiders, the relationship between Reynolds and Disney was far from seamless. What began as a seemingly perfect collaboration purportedly started to fray under the pressure of expectations from all sides. Meanwhile, Blake Lively's connection to Disney was never as direct. While Reynolds occupied center stage in one of Disney's most prominent franchises, Lively's involvement was more peripheral, leaving her influence and leverage less visible but still notable. While Reynolds was front and center on Disney's most anticipated projects, Lively remained largely outside the studio's fold. Some speculate that this difference may have unintentionally created tension. As Lively pursued roles beyond Disney's ecosystem, Reynolds became the primary face tied to the studio's colossal expectations. Being Disney's poster star comes with immense pressure, not just to perform, but to fully align with their brand vision and production timelines. Meanwhile, Reynolds was actively spreading his talents across numerous ventures, from part ownership of Mint Mobile to involvement with Wrexham AFC and other entrepreneurial projects. His ambitions were on full display. The public adored him for it, but Disney reportedly viewed things differently. When a studio invests tens of millions in a star, it expects their undivided attention. Reynolds' growing list of outside commitments may have made executives feel sidelined, even taken for granted. Sources claim that Disney didn't ignore the issue, with conversations reportedly taking place between Reynolds and studio executives, raising concerns about distractions and focus. Yet, while these discussions may have been diplomatic, they apparently failed to address the deeper underlying tensions. The energy that once made Reynolds a studio darling may have gradually begun to feel more like a risk than an asset. Creative disagreements reportedly added to the tension. Rumors circulated that early planning stages for Deadpool 3 were rocky, with Disney's vision clashing with Reynolds' trademark irreverent style. Whether it was a matter of tone, content, or scheduling, something just wasn't aligning. And with Disney's well-known desire for tight control over its properties, even minor conflicts can quickly escalate into major obstacles. Over time, strained expectations, competing ventures, and creative clashes quietly built up, yet the final break still came as a shock. Disney is deliberate and rarely acts impulsively, so when the split was announced, it felt not only significant but also strategic. Clearly, something substantial occurred behind the scenes. While the full story may never be public, one fact remains certain. This wasn't a decision made lightly. The magic faded, the partnership dissolved, and Hollywood is left wondering what truly caused the curtain to fall.
Because you guys are trying to force down a narrative and we are refusing to accept it. Now, I wasn't there, but all I know, a lot of crew members now I've spoken to who were there, they all say this didn't happen. But was there some other miscommunication or problem with your wife and Justin? Maybe. But was all this worth it? Absolutely not. And now it's affecting your work. Now it's affecting your boss over at Disney, which you finally got to step in with this big, huge, successful movie. But now you can't even post an Instagram post without leaving the comments on. You have to turn them off. Like, this is not good for your brand, brother. This is not worth it. Now, I've had other sources, less of them, but sources deep inside saying divorce is going to come.
Disney isn't known for making impulsive decisions, especially when it comes to cutting ties with A-list stars like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So what could have gone so wrong that the entertainment giant felt compelled to act? According to insiders, one major incident may have tipped the scales, and surprisingly, it may not have even started on a film set. Speculation points to Disney's notoriously strict policies regarding talent conduct. The company has long maintained a zero-tolerance approach toward anything that could damage its carefully curated image, and even the biggest names in Hollywood aren't exempt. For years, Reynolds' edgy humor and unconventional projects pushed boundaries, but Disney largely leaned into it. Until now. The alleged turning point appears to be Reynolds' ongoing legal battle with actor-director Justin Baldoni. The lawsuit, which escalated quickly, reportedly became a major concern behind the scenes. Sources claim Disney's top executives, including CEO Bob Iger, even tried to intervene, allegedly urging Reynolds to step away from the dispute. That level of internal pressure signals serious concern about potential fallout. Disney clearly saw the case not just as a personal matter, but as a risk that could ripple across the company's brand and carefully managed public image. The matter quickly escalated from a personal dispute to a looming PR crisis. At the center of the legal feud is Baldoni's defamation lawsuit, which has already sparked countersuits, public statements, and intense legal back and forth. Reynolds' legal team has dismissed Baldoni's claims as frivolous, calling the lawsuit a publicity stunt. In response, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, insisted the case includes substantial factual allegations backed by a mountain of evidence. What began as a private disagreement has become a headline-grabbing scandal. Insiders say the feud may have originated from a scene in an upcoming Deadpool film, a subtle jab characteristic of Reynolds' humor, but one that evidently didn't land well with Baldoni. While the scene may have seemed harmless initially, the fallout was anything but. Baldoni's team has accused Reynolds of being dismissive and thin-skinned, further escalating tensions. Disney's involvement indicates that executives viewed the legal drama as a ticking bomb, one with the potential to jeopardize not only Deadpool 3, but also the studio's carefully managed brand image, but the broader Marvel brand. The studio has a long history of distancing itself from controversy, with past splits involving stars like Johnny Depp and Gina Carano serving as reminders. Yet, unlike those cases, the details here remain murky, largely hidden behind closed doors. Whether it was an offhand joke, the escalation of the legal battle, or growing frustrations between Reynolds and Disney executives, something clearly caused a breakdown in the relationship. And while no official statements have fully explained the fallout, the decision to sever ties was far from impulsive. It was deliberate and calculated. Now, the bigger question looms. What does this mean for Deadpool and one of Disney's most bankable franchises? The future remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The era of Reynolds as Disney's golden boy has come to an abrupt and dramatic turning point.
Us were victims. I don't believe you are. There's so much more important stuff happening in the world, and real abuse with Harvey on trial and others. The Diddy case. These are real cases we should be focusing our energy on and time and resources, not because he looked me in the eyes while I was breastfeeding. This is absolutely ridiculous. Talk about frivolous. But anyway, now he's trying to ask the judge to ding Justin's team financially. But JB has pointed the finger back. Of course, this is all, every time there's a story, someone does one and then they do the other. And I'm getting a little bored of it all because, the Deadpool star on Tuesday hit back against JB and his team with a request for monetary sanctions, which they say is reaction to the preposterous defamation lawsuit that makes a mockery of the legal system. That's not up for the judge to deem. This is why we're in discovery. This is why we're doing depositions. Dude, you don't get to just end it before he's even gotten to ask people and get the facts. There is enough here to get information. The fact that your team was out there asking Taylor to delete text messages and show.
Ryan Reynolds is practically synonymous with Deadpool. His razor-sharp wit, impeccable comedic timing, and offbeat charisma transformed the foul-mouthed antihero into a pop culture phenomenon. But his impact goes far beyond his on-screen performance. Reynolds has played a pivotal role in shaping Deadpool's unique identity, creatively, tonally, and even in its marketing. Now, with Deadpool 3 on the horizon, Disney faces one of its toughest challenges yet, moving forward without the very actor who made the franchise a phenomenon. Severing ties with Reynolds isn't merely a creative gamble, it's a billion-dollar risk. This isn't about replacing a performer, it's about untangling a brand built around his voice, vision, and persona. Losing him could alienate a fiercely loyal fan base and disrupt the momentum of one of Disney's most unexpectedly successful properties. It's important to remember that Disney didn't originate Deadpool. They acquired it during the 20th Century Fox merger, inheriting not just a hit character, but a fully realized, fan-driven franchise that revolved almost entirely around Reynolds' unique approach. Deadpool became one of Reynolds' most lucrative deals, and a rare example of Disney embracing R-rated, edgy material. They leaned into the chaos, allowing Reynolds creative freedom, and the results were massive commercial success and critical acclaim. But in the wake of the recent fallout, that once thriving relationship now appears fractured, leaving the studio with a monumental question. How do you continue without him? Recasting is an option, but a nuclear one. Reynolds isn't just the face of Deadpool. To many fans, he is the character. Anyone stepping into the red suit would face immediate backlash and intense scrutiny. Marvel fans are notoriously devoted to continuity and performance, and replacing Reynolds would be seen by many as sacrilegious. Delaying the film might buy time, but it brings its own set of problems. Shifting the schedule could disrupt Disney's tightly packed release calendar, potentially impacting other Marvel projects and frustrating audiences. Meanwhile, whispers of contingency plans are already circulating inside the studio. Although no official direction has been confirmed, situations like this are not without precedent. Scarlett Johansson's high-profile lawsuit over Black Widow caused major friction and nearly derailed her long-term partnership with Disney, with ripple effects felt across the industry. The Reynolds situation becomes even more complicated when factoring in his parallel legal battle with actor-director Justin Baldoni. That feud, reportedly sparked by a subtle jab in a Deadpool script, has escalated into a messy public legal fight. Sources say Disney leadership, including Bob Iger, attempted to de-escalate tensions behind closed doors, but their efforts may have fallen short. And there's another layer, Blake Lively. While she hasn't been directly involved with Disney, her most recent film, It Ends With Us, underperformed both critically and financially. Some insiders speculate that this may have added pressure behind the scenes, potentially raising doubts about the couple's broader bankability. Was Lively viewed as a liability by association? At this point, the future of Deadpool hangs in the balance. Disney sits on a franchise worth billions, but navigating the next steps without eroding fan trust or compromising creative integrity will be a delicate challenge. Speculation about Disney's true reasons for the split continues to swirl, but one thing is certain: what happens next will shape not only the fate of Deadpool, but also Disney's evolving relationship with its biggest stars.